Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Military Mondays. For those who do not know who I am retired Major Brenda Sanchez, and I am the co-author of the best-selling book, Life's Real Currency, with my husband, Michael Sanchez. And I would love to get to know you. So if you could please let us know where you're watching from and what your connection is to the military. Maybe you've served, maybe a spouse has served, maybe your parent or grandparent or aunts or uncles. We'd love to get to know you. So if you could put that in the comments below, we'd greatly appreciate it. Today I have the honor of interviewing September Burton. September and I have known each other for probably five, 6 years. And I'm amazed by this woman. She's former Navy. She was a personal chef in the Navy to the admirals, right?
Yes.
And so she got to hang around with some pretty high-powered people while she was in the Navy. But now she has a passion to help women and families to be able to conceive if you're having trouble with having a baby. And so she's put together the Colorado Fertility Conference, and she also teaches nutrition, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that today. So thanks so much for being on my Military Mondays. And the first question I have for you is, obviously you were a personal chef in the Navy. What other skills other than obviously cooking did you learn in the Navy that helped you to be a successful business owner today on your own?
I would say, obviously, military. You've got that structured environment. There's not a lot of room to wiggle room, I guess, if you would. And so there's a lot of discipline that comes with. I only did 4 years, but in that 4 years, I learned a lot of discipline that I didn't have before, self-discipline, things like that. And then the other one is goal setting. When I joined the Navy, I walked into my recruiter's office and I said, I want to cook, and if you're not going to let me cook, I'm not going to join. And he was like, you can cook. And of course, I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But I set goals. One of my goals was to get to Italy, and the other one was to cook for the President of the United States, because it's Navy cooks who cook for the U.S. President.
Oh, wow.
And so when they told me that, I was like, hey, how cool is that? I want to cook for the President. And I didn't cook for the president himself, but I did cook for a member of the presidential cabinet. So I felt like I've accomplished my goal in my 4 years, and I was stationed in Sicily, so I did accomplish both of those goals.
Nice. And so why did you want to cook? What was the reason for picking cook? Because obviously there was something prior to going into the Navy that led you down that path.
Something I didn't know about. No, I just have always loved to cook. My specialty is baking. I love to bake. It's the art and the science, melding it all together. And so that's what really led me to want to cook in the Navy.
Cool. And so I know that there is a story behind why you're helping women and families with fertility and that, but can you share with the audience, why fertility? I know why the nutrition, being a chef. Most chefs, well, not all chefs, but a lot of chefs are focused on nutrition and that, but why the fertility?
Being in the Navy and working as a personal chef, so the first admiral that I worked for just didn't care about food. He was like, just cook. I'm hungry. Just cook me food. The second admiral that I worked for was extremely health conscious, and that was really my first introduction to somebody who's really, really health conscious. He was so much so that he would wear his running clothes on the airplane, so that as soon as we landed, while we were getting everything ready for him to pull in and deplane and all of that stuff, he would go for a run on the runway.
So, wow.
Yeah, so he was way, way health conscious. So he cared about what we were cooking for him. And so we had to kind of relearn, how do we, get away from the too much butter and things like that, and actually start cooking healthy food. So then I got out of the Navy. I got into the dietetic program at the school that I was going to, and then I got pregnant. And my oldest son has some delays and some issues and things like that. And so when he was a few years old, I started researching natural nutrition and what I could do to help him. And then I had several miscarriages at the same time. So it was really doing the cleanses and the juicing and the smoothies and things like that are what stopped me from miscarrying. And now I have 7 children. So it obviously worked. And it also has helped him a lot in his delays and catching up and things like that. So
awesome. And I know that you, other than the fertility, and we're going to talk about the fertility clinic here in a minute, but I know, or at least you used to, I'm not sure if you're still doing them, you do cooking classes or cooking nutrition type stuff. Are you still doing that? And if so, tell people where they can find that.
Okay. So I'm not doing the classes necessarily. That's just life circumstances have changed. You know,
7
it
kids.
happens, right? So not so much the classes. I do still work one-on-one with people on nutritional goals and things like that. 3-month programs, 6-month programs, long-term, so that you really, really lay the foundation of how to be healthy and take control of your own health and nutrition. I'm very into superfoods, smoothies, things like that. So I really help you focus on nourishing the organs specifically, your liver, your kidneys, you know, things like that. And so the classes, to answer your question, no, I'm not doing those anymore, but I definitely still work with people. And you can find, I have a Facebook group actually, which is where most of my nutrition knowledge is being poured into right now. And that's How Food Heals. So you can go find that group, or Cooking Clean in Colorado Springs. Either one of those names will get you to the same group.
And we'll put those links, I'll have September put those links down below in the comments so that you can just click on them and go join the groups. So now to the big thing, the fertility conference.
The fertility
Last year
conference.
was the first year, right?
Yes.
So we're coming up on the second year of the Colorado Fertility Conference. It was pretty big success last year, and I know that you have big plans for this year. So let's talk about the fertility conference.
So the fertility conference, the goal of the conference is really to show people every possible avenue that you have to explore to get pregnant. When you're struggling with infertility, every single modality that you add, meaning, you know, if you focus on your nutrition and then you add massage and then you add acupuncture and then you add there's hypnotherapists who specialize in infertility. So every single modality that you add to your program, to your protocol, is going to increase your chances. So, you know, IVF by itself, nothing else, has a really pretty low success rate, 20 to 30%. But if you add these other things on top of it, by the time you're done, you're up at 90% success rates, you know? So, so the goal of the conference is to show you all of those different modalities, every option that you have. Add these different things, whatever feels right to you, whatever calls to you, add it to your protocol so that you can get your baby. Because at the end of the day, that's what
the
matters,
goal.
right?
You
You want
want your
that
baby.
baby. So, yeah.
And I think last year, if I remember correctly, if all else fails and you can't have a baby, I think you had people there at the conference that alternative to adopt or to
Absolutely.
other forms of, if you can't have one on your own, you can still have a baby and be a family. So I know that you had those options also.
One of the most fascinating ones that I just learned about from the conference, I didn't know that this was a thing, but you can actually adopt embryos, fertilized embryos. You can adopt, and as long as, you know, they can be implanted into the woman and she's able to carry, which a lot of women are, then you're giving birth to your own adopted child. So it's a fascinating concept, right?
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so we used Snowflake Embryo Adoption was the company that came out and supported the conference and was there as part of it. But we also do, you know, we talk about surrogacy, we talk about adoption, we talk about every possible avenue. We're just about building your family in whatever way is right for you.
Awesome. So when is the fertility conference this year and where?
Where, we don't know yet. That's still TBD. But when? October 3rd. It's going to happen October 3rd this year.
Okay, awesome. And all day, right? It's an all day event?
Yeah, I mean, most of the day, yeah. I think last year we went from 9 till 3. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that for sure. Anything else you want to add or share with the viewers?
I'm super excited. Just this week, actually, I was contracted with a local surrogacy agency to start recruiting surrogate moms. So if that's something that you've ever considered doing, being a surrogate mom, get in touch with me. A lot of women out there who I've talked to just in this last week are like, oh, I don't qualify. And then I tell them that they do qualify. So don't assume that you don't qualify. If it's something that you're interested in, get in touch with me.
Awesome. And we'll put, I've already tagged September, but she'll put her contact information below in the comments. And I just know that September has helped so many people to be able to, when they didn't have hope, to have a child of their own naturally, or to give them other methods to be able to grow their family. And I know that she has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to nutrition. She's been in multiple networking groups with me. We're both in VetNet, Veterans Networking Group, that meets Tuesday mornings at 8:15 at IHOP. So if you're a veteran or a spouse of a veteran or the child of a veteran, those are the three categories. We would love to see you on Tuesday mornings in Colorado Springs at the IHOP off of Powers. And if you're not here in Colorado Springs, all across the U.S., there are veteran networking groups, and I encourage you to reach out to some veteran organizations, and they probably can plug you in, or just search on Facebook or on the internet, and I'm sure you can find those. So,
and the veterans groups are really great. They're one of my favorite groups because there's this camaraderie. That there's this sense of like we're here to help each other out. So.
Well, and it's like a family. I mean, it's like when you're in the military, you know, it's a built-in family. And yeah, I mean, years ago, not so much anymore, but years ago, you might have never even left the base. You know, everything happened on base. The theater was on base. The gym was on base. Everything was on base.
Yep.
And it was a community of people. And by joining a veteran networking group, you kind of get connected back in with that community and have an instant similarity or
just that sense of understanding each other and where you come from
and background. And if you're currently serving and you are thinking about being an entrepreneur when you retire, I encourage you to look into that now. If you'd like to reach out to me, I'd be glad to have a conversation with you. There are so many different options for being an entrepreneur, whether you're a solopreneur, whether you go and buy a franchise, or whether you do network marketing or craft, you know, type things. There are so many options, and you bring so many skills to being an entrepreneur that you probably don't realize you have, being that you were military. So we look forward to seeing everybody next Monday on Military Mondays. If you'd like to learn about upcoming shows and upcoming interviews, I've got several other interviews coming up in the next few weeks. If you'd like to learn about those, go to militarymondays with an S.info. So militarymondays.info, and put your information in, and that way we can stay connected. I can also let you know about past shows and interviews that have happened. So with that, thanks again, September, for being on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to seeing you next Monday on Military Mondays. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a good day.